The Role of Media 1 by Noam Chomsky. The role of the media in contemporary politics forces us to ask what kind of a society we want to live in, and in particular, in what sense of democracy do we want this to be a democratic society. Let me begin by counterposing two different conceptions of democracy. One conception of democracy has it that a democratic society is one in which the public has the means to participate in some meaningful way in the management of their own affairs, and the means of information are open and free. If you look up democracy in the dictionary, you'll get a definition something like that. An alternative conception of democracy is that the public must be barred from managing their own affairs, and the means of information must be kept narrowly and rigidly controlled. That may sound like an odd conception of democracy, but it's important to understand that it is the prevailing conception. In fact, it has long been not just in operation, but even in theory. There's a long history that goes back to the earliest modern democratic revolutions in 17th century England, which largely expresses this point of view. I'm just going to keep to the modern period and say a few words about how that notion of democracy develops and why and how the problem of media and disinformation enters within that context. Hello and welcome to the Role of Media 1 lesson. This is the commentary. I'd like to talk a little bit about Noam Chomsky in this commentary. He's the writer of this article. There will be more. This is from a book of his called Media Control by Noam Chomsky. And we'll talk more about the actual issues in future commentaries. But this time I just want to tell you more about Noam Chomsky, the man. Who is he? He's a very, very interesting guy. Noam Chomsky kind of has two careers. He's famous for two different things. Number one, he's a famous linguist. In fact, he's probably the most famous linguist in the world. Now, when I say linguist, I don't mean he speaks a lot of languages. What I mean is he studies languages. How do languages work? What is grammar exactly, and how does it work? Not just in English, but in all languages. And he has a lot of very interesting theories that are very famous. One of them is called the theory of universal grammar. And that basically says that while every language has different grammar, some different grammar, that underneath there is some basic grammar, some basic language principles, which are the same for all languages. And that's why we can learn other languages, because they're different, but they're not totally different, right? So a Japanese person can learn English. Yes, they're kind of different, but really, if you go deeper, there are things that are very similar. And that's why people can learn other languages. But anyway, there's a lot more complicated theories. But the point is, Noam Chomsky is a famous linguist. That's what he first was famous for. And he still is a very famous linguist, probably the most famous linguist. When I got my master's degree in teaching English as a foreign language, I studied Noam Chomsky. Everybody does when they take a linguistics course. Okay, now he's a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. MIT is probably the #1 technology university in America. I don't know, #1 or #2. The top two are Caltech and MIT. And he's a professor at MIT. So this is like the Harvard of technical schools, so science type of school. So he's been a professor there a long time. Now his second field number one is linguistics, but he's also famous for politics, for political science. In fact, most people know him because of this. He's famous all around the world for his politics and his political research. And he's a very interesting guy. Noam Chomsky has done a lot of research about modern democracies, especially the United States. And what he did, and continues to do, is he gets documents, official government documents, from past governments in the United States. So he'll get official documents, for example, from President Kennedy, in the 60s, President Johnson from the 60s, and then going back to the 50s and the 40s and the 30s and the 20s. It's possible to get these documents now. At that time, in the past, they were secret. No one could see them. But now we have some laws in America that allow us to get those documents. So he's gotten these documents, and he's researched, what does the government really do? What does the American government really think, the people at the top? What are they really trying to do? And he's found out that, in fact, the number one thing they do is keep control for large corporations and for people who are very, very rich. Now, that's no surprise to me, but a lot of people think, oh my God, that's not possible, that's not true. America is only about freedom and democracy. We're always right. We always do the good thing. But he's found, in fact, that is not the main concern of the government of the United States. But he does admit, he does say that, in fact, America has a very free society. It's true. But because we have a free society, the government has to find another way to control the people, right? Mostly, the government doesn't grab people and throw them in jail or shoot them and kill them because they disagree with the government. This happens in some countries. China, for example, is maybe the perfect example. So in China, if you yell something against the government on the street, the police grab you and take you to prison and torture you and maybe kill you. And usually in America, that does not happen. Not yet. George Bush is working on it. But anyway, still mostly free. And so he says that since the democratic governments, especially the United States, can't control with this kind of force, usually, instead they control people with propaganda. They use basically mind control. They control with the media. They control people's thoughts and ideas to make them do what they want them to do. And he has studied these government documents and done a lot of his own research about how they do that. How do they use the media? How do they use propaganda to control the public, to control what the public thinks and what the public does and what the public will support? Very, very interesting. And a little scary sometimes. But he's not a crazy guy. He's a very intelligent guy. And all of this is based on research. He's not some crazy guy who just says, oh my God, the government's bad. He's very intelligent, very careful about what he does. And this article, this Role of Media 1, it comes from a book of his called Media Control. And I will be doing more parts from this book. Very interesting book. And in fact, you may or may not know, but my first degree is in journalism. I studied journalism as an undergraduate. I have a bachelor's degree in journalism. And that's when I first learned about Noam Chomsky, because I was studying his ideas about media. And I saw him speak, in fact, at that time. He came to my university, the University of Georgia. He came to my university, in fact, during the first Gulf War. George Bush's father, right? George Bush #1. And he came and he spoke about the war. The war was getting ready to start. Everybody knew it was going to happen. And he was going around speaking to universities. And he talked about how the American government and the media were using all this propaganda to make Americans support the war, to make them afraid of Saddam Hussein, to make them really, yes, let's go, let's attack, yes, yes, yes. And he talked about in very clear detail how this was happening and that it was not an accident, that the government, and not only government, but big business as well, the media companies were doing this, and that it was a very effective campaign. And he was right, of course. And, of course, they've done the same thing again with this second Iraq war. But anyway, I saw him that first time speaking, and I was impressed. I was like, wow, this guy's very intelligent, very interesting. And then since then, I've read some of his books, several of his books, actually. they're a little difficult. He's an academic. He's a, PhD. So some of his books are quite difficult. This one that I chose, this media control book that I'll be using for lessons, is not so difficult. There might be parts that are a little tough, especially if your level is a little more lower. But for the advanced students, the advanced members of Effortless English, you should be able to understand it. Also, most of the chapters are going to be quite short. I'll edit them. I'll make them a little shorter and easier to understand. So I think the ideas are very interesting and very important. So I want to present this to you all. And, in general, I want to use interesting, thought-provoking material for you to learn English. Not, that's maybe the worst part about textbooks is that they're irrelevant. Irrelevant means they have no use at all. You read any English textbook, and you have these little fake articles and these little fake conversations. Well, who cares? They're not real people. They're not real ideas. It's all fake. So you have no reason to be curious. You have no reason to be interested in in the language. It's not important. It's totally artificial. So all you do is you focus on the language itself. You spend all your time worrying about, verbs and adverbs and phrasal verbs and, different parts, tenses and parts of speech and et cetera, memorizing the vocabulary, doing this fill-in-the-blank exercise. Is it A or B or C? And you get all focused, and after a while, that's what English is for a lot of students. English is stupid articles that are meaningless, stupid conversations, which are not real and have no meaning, between people who are not real. And then meaningless, stupid activities where you're filling in a blank or choosing A, B, C, or D. And that's English. Well, it's not English. That is not English. English is what is used every day in the United States and England and the world actually now to communicate real ideas that are important. And now they may be jokes, they may be funny ideas, they may be stories, they may be very deep philosophical ideas, they may be just basic information you need for your life. How much is this? When does the train come? But it's real information that matters, that has some meaning to you. That's what English is. That's what any language is. That's a real language. And textbooks destroy that. That's why I hate them. I hate them because they kill the language. And that's why so many students, they tell me, oh, I hate English. It's so boring. Oh, why do I need it? I don't care. Or maybe they really do need it. They need it for something, but they hate it. Oh, English is horrible. It's so boring. Well, English is not boring. The textbooks are boring. The classes are boring. The teachers are probably boring. Certainly the tests are boring and the activities are boring, but English itself is not boring. It's only because you're reading the wrong things and listening to the wrong things. There are some really amazing ideas out there. There are some amazing books in English. There are some amazing podcasts in English. There are amazing movies in English. There are amazing people who have great ideas who speak English. I think Noam Chomsky is one of them. And that's the purpose of the language, to find out this great, interesting person. Wow, what are his ideas? Now that's language. That's real English. And that's what I want to focus on. Now, it's not always going to be serious. Sometimes language is funny. The Dear Abby letters, for example, they're kind of funny sometimes. They're certainly not so serious. But that it's real life. Those are real people writing those letters. Those problems are real. Somewhere in America, someone is having that problem. So it's real. There's a real emotion there. There are real ideas. These are real lives. And that's how you make English real. You've got to connect with real thoughts, real emotions, real people, real lives. That's what will help you the most. More important than how you study, more important than anything else, is connecting with the real language and the emotion and the thoughts and the people who speak it. Forget everything else. If you can do that, you will enjoy the language and you'll want to learn it, and everything else will happen automatically. Welcome to the mini story for the role of media 1. Let's get started with the story. One day, a guy named AJ goes to his English class. One student in his class, named Aki, complains. He says, "AJ, your class sucks. It's boring." AJ is surprised. He asks the class, "Is this the prevailing opinion? Do you all agree?" They all shout together, "Yes, you suck!" Then they attack AJ. They hit him and kick him and beat him. They throw him out of the class and shout, "You are barred from this class. Never come back." AJ is sad, but he decides to get revenge. He'll fight again. So he joins a ninja school to learn how to fight. He says to the ninja teacher, "I want to learn to kill someone with a knife and a sword." The teacher says, "AJ, your conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are old and wrong. Contemporary American ninjas use guns." Then the master begins to teach AJ how to fight and how to use guns like a ninja. He yells, "AJ, don't stand rigidly. Make your body soft and flexible." Every day, AJ practices. Finally, he is ready. He is strong and dangerous. The teacher says, "AJ, think about before you came to me. Counterpose yourself then, before you came here, to yourself now, after training. Compare yourself. Counterpose these two. Then you were weak. Now you are strong." AJ says, "Yes, master. I am strong. I am now ready to destroy my evil English class." As AJ walks out the door, the master yells, "AJ, keep to your ninja training. Keep to your ninja methods and destroy them all." To be continued. Dun 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 dun. Okay, that is all for our class. Let's go back up again and let's do this story with questions. All right, with questions. One day, AJ goes to English class. One student named Aki complains. He says, "AJ, your class sucks. It's boring." AJ is surprised. He asks the class, "Is this the prevailing opinion? Do you all agree?" Does he want to know if this is the majority opinion, the common opinion? Well, that's right. That's exactly what he wants to know. He wants to know if this is the prevailing opinion, the common opinion, the majority opinion, the most common opinion. Does he want to know if this is the prevailing emotion? No, he's not talking about emotion. He's talking about opinion. He wants to know, is this the prevailing opinion? Is this the most common opinion? Does he ask his brother, is this the prevailing opinion? No, he doesn't ask his brother. Who does he ask? Well, he asks all of the class, all the students. He says, is this the prevailing opinion in this class? Is it the most common opinion among all the students? And is it? Was this the prevailing opinion? Yeah, exactly. It is the prevailing opinion. In fact, they all agree. And they all shout together, "Yes, AJ, you suck." Then they attack AJ. They throw him out of the room and shout, "You are barred from this class. Never come back." Can AJ return to the class? No, he is barred from the class. He can never come back into the classroom. He is barred from the class. Is he barred from his favorite restaurant? No, he's not barred from his favorite restaurant. He's barred from the English class. Who barred him from the class? Well, the students barred him from the class, right? They are stopping him. They are preventing him. So the students barred him from the class. Is AJ barred from his job in general? No. He's not barred from his job. He can still go to the school, but he cannot enter the classroom. He is barred from the class. Why is AJ barred from the class? Well, he's barred from the class because the students hate him and they think his class sucks and that he's boring. That's why he's barred from the class. And then they beat him up, they kick him and throw him out, and he's bloody, and we hear the music. Na, 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 very sad music while AJ's walking away. AJ's very sad. But he decides to get revenge, right? He decides he will fight again. So he joins a ninja school to learn how to fight. And he talks to the ninja master, the ninja teacher, and he says, I want to learn to kill someone with a knife and a sword. The teacher says, AJ, your conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are old and wrong. Are AJ's ideas about ninja fighting wrong? Yeah, that's right. His conceptions of ninja fighting are wrong. Are his conceptions of karate wrong? No, he's not learning to fight with karate. He's learning to fight with ninja powers. His conceptions of ninja fighting are wrong. Are Aki's conceptions of ninja fighting wrong? No, not Aki. Aki's Japanese. He understands the ninja. But AJ's conceptions of ninja fighting are wrong. He has old ideas about ninja fighting. His conceptions of ninja fighting are old and they're wrong. Are his conceptions about the ninjas totally wrong in general? Actually, no. It's not his conceptions about ninjas in general. It's his conceptions, his ideas about the means of ninja fighting, how they fight. That's what's wrong. So his ideas about ninjas are not totally wrong. He knows that ninjas wear black. They wear all black. He knows they are dangerous killers. These are true. These ideas are true. Only his ideas about the means of ninja fighting, how they fight, what weapons do they use, what techniques do they use, the means of ninja fighting. His ideas about the means of ninja fighting are wrong. His conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are wrong. How is he wrong? What does he mean about the means of ninja fighting? What does AJ think about the means of ninja fighting? Well, AJ thinks they fight with knives and swords, right? Big, long knives. He thinks that's the means of ninja fighting. That's how they fight. That's the way they fight. But his teacher says, no, that is not the means of ninja fighting today. He says contemporary American ninjas use guns. Do old ninjas in the past, 200 years ago, did they use guns? No, they did not. Not old ninjas. They don't use guns. Contemporary ninjas use guns. Modern ninjas use guns. Today, this time in history, contemporary ninjas use guns. Do contemporary Japanese ninjas use guns? No, in fact, they don't. They still like tradition, the Japanese ninjas. Contemporary American ninjas use guns. Contemporary Japanese ninjas do not. Is AJ learning from a contemporary American ninja? Yes, in fact, he is. He is learning from a contemporary American ninja. He's learning from a modern American ninja, not an old traditional one. He's learning from a contemporary American ninja. What weapon do contemporary American ninjas use? Well, they use guns, right? Contemporary American ninjas use guns. That's their weapon. That's how they kill people, usually. Their guns and their hands and their feet. So contemporary American ninjas use guns. Then the master begins to teach AJ how to fight and how to use guns like a ninja. When they're training, when they're practicing, he yells at AJ, AJ, don't stand rigidly. Make your body soft and flexible. Does he want AJ to stand very rigidly, very hard? No. He wants AJ to have a soft body so he can move very easily. He does not want AJ to stand rigidly. Does he want AJ to fight rigidly with very hard, strong muscles? No, he doesn't want AJ to fight rigidly. He wants AJ to fight with a fast, soft, flexible body. Flexibly. He wants AJ to stand flexibly so he can move easily. He does not want AJ to stand rigidly. He does not want AJ to fight rigidly. He wants him to move quickly, change easily, be very flexible. So he says, don't stand rigidly. Don't fight rigidly. Maybe don't think rigidly, right? Have your mind open to new ideas. Don't think rigidly. AJ must not be rigid. Rigid's the adjective. AJ must not be rigid. He must not stand rigidly. He must not fight rigidly. He must not think rigidly. So every day AJ practices. Finally, he is ready. He is strong and dangerous. Only the strong, only the hard. The teacher says, AJ, remember your past self when you were weak. Counterpose yourself before you came here to your current self. Does he want AJ to compare his old self and his new self? Yes, that's right. He wants AJ to counterpose his old self and his new self. He wants him to compare his old self and his new self. Does he want AJ to counterpose different philosophies, different ideas? No, they're not talking about philosophy or ideas. He wants him to counterpose his old self and his new self. Compare old self and new self. Does he want Aki to counterpose his old self and new self? No, Aki is not his student. He wants AJ to counterpose his old self and his new self. Why does he want AJ to counterpose his old self and his new self? Well, he wants him to realize how strong he is now. So he's saying, compare yourself now, you are strong. And think of yourself before, you were weak, right? Counterpose your weak self and your strong self. Realize you are stronger now. So he says, counterpose your old self and your new self. He says, then you were weak, now you are strong. AJ says, yes, master, I am strong. I am now ready to destroy my evil English class. As AJ walks out the door, the master yells, keep to your ninja methods and destroy them all. Does he want AJ to stay with his ninja methods? Yes, that's right. He wants him to stay with his ninja methods. He wants him to use only the ninja methods, right? Continue with the ninja methods. Continue with the ninja training. So he says, keep to your ninja methods. Don't try other things. Don't do other things. Remember your ninja methods. Keep to your ninja methods. Stay with them. So the master yells, keep to your ninja methods. Does he want AJ to keep to his karate methods? No, he did not learn karate. He did not say keep to your karate methods. He said keep to your ninja methods. What kind of methods should AJ keep to? Well, he should keep to his ninja methods, right? Keep to your ninja methods. Stay with your ninja methods. Use only those. So the master yells, keep to your ninja methods and destroy them all. All right, one more time. This time I'm going to pause after the key phrases with the new vocabulary. Repeat those phrases after me. Don't just repeat. Copy my intonation when I go up and when I go down. Right? Copy it very carefully. Try to sound exactly like me. Here we go. One day, AJ goes to English class. One student named Aki complains. AJ, your class sucks. It's boring. AJ is surprised. He asks the class, is this the prevailing opinion? Is this the prevailing opinion? Good. Do you all agree? They all shout together, yes, you suck! Then they attack AJ. They hit him and beat him. They throw him out of the room and shout, you are barred from this class. Never come back. Good. You are barred from this class. Never come back. Good. AJ is sad. He decides to get revenge and fight again. So he joins a ninja school to learn how to fight. He says to the ninja teacher, "I want to learn to kill someone with a knife and a sword." The teacher says, "Your conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are old and wrong." Your conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are old and wrong. Ooh, that's difficult, right? Your conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are old and wrong. He says, contemporary American ninjas use guns. Contemporary American ninjas use guns. Good. He then begins to teach AJ how to fight and how to use guns like a ninja. He yells, "Don't stand rigidly! Don't stand rigidly!" Good. Make your body soft and flexible. Every day, AJ practices. Finally, he is ready. He is strong and dangerous. The teacher says, "Counterpose your old self to your new self." Counterpose your old self to your new self. Good. Then you were weak. Now you are strong. AJ says, "Yes, master, I am strong. I am now ready to destroy my evil English class." As AJ walks out the door, the master yells, "Keep to your ninja methods." Good. Keep to your ninja methods. And destroy them all. Very good. You're ready for the POV lesson. Stop this. Tell all of the story yourself. Bye-bye. Welcome to the Point of View mini stories for the Role of Media 1. Let's get started. Same story, but different time frames. Our first one, as always, we'll start with the past, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, there was an English teacher named AJ. One day, he went to English class, and one student named Aki complained. He said, "AJ, your class sucks. It's boring." AJ was surprised. He asked the class, "Is this the prevailing attitude? Is this the prevailing opinion? Do you all agree?" They all shouted together, "Yes, you suck!" Then they attacked AJ. They hit him and beat him. They threw him out of the room and shouted, "You are barred from this class. Never come back." AJ was sad. But he decided to get revenge. He decided to fight again. So he joined a ninja school to learn how to fight. He said to the ninja teacher, "I want to learn to kill someone with a knife and a sword." The teacher said, "AJ, your conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are old and wrong. Contemporary American ninjas use guns." Then he began to teach AJ how to fight and how to use guns like a ninja. He yelled, "Don't stand rigidly. Make your body soft and flexible." Every day, AJ practiced. Finally, he was ready. He was strong and dangerous. The teacher said, "AJ, counterpose your old self to your new self." Then you were weak. Now you are strong. AJ said, "Yes, master, I am strong. I am now ready to destroy my evil English class." As AJ walked out the door, the master yelled, "Keep to your ninja methods and destroy them all." All right, very good. Let's do it again. This time, we're going to start with the phrase, "since last month." You ready? Since last month. Let's do it. All right, there's a teacher named AJ. Since last month, he has gone to his English class. And every day, Aki has complained. Aki has said, "AJ, your class sucks. It's boring." AJ has always been sad. He's always been surprised. Well, finally, one day, he asked the class, "Is this the prevailing opinion? Do you all agree?" Well, they all agreed. They all shouted together, "Yes, you suck!" Then they attacked AJ. They threw him out of the room and shouted, "You are barred from this class. Never come back." AJ was sad, but he decided to get revenge. So he joined a ninja school to learn how to fight. He said to the ninja teacher, "I want to learn to kill someone with a knife and a sword." The teacher said, "Your conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are old and wrong. Contemporary American ninjas use guns." He then began to teach AJ how to fight and how to use guns like a ninja. Every day, he would yell, "Don't stand rigidly. Make your body soft and flexible." Every day, AJ practiced. Finally, he was ready. He was strong and dangerous. The teacher said, "Counterpose your old self to your new self. Before you were weak, now you are strong." AJ said, "Yes, master, I am strong. I am now ready to destroy my evil English class." As AJ walked out the door, the master yelled, "Keep to your ninja training, keep to your ninja methods, and destroy them all." All right, now it's time for our third version, going to the future. Let's imagine this is a movie idea, or maybe a dream, okay? So we're thinking about the future. I have a dream, and I'm thinking this is going to happen. This is going to happen to me. So one day, AJ will go to English class. One of the students, named Aki, will complain. He'll say, "AJ, your class sucks. It's boring." AJ will be surprised. He'll ask the class, "Is this the prevailing opinion? Do you all agree?" They'll all shout together, "Yes, you suck!" Then they'll attack AJ. They'll throw him out of the room and they'll shout, "You are barred from this class. Never come back." AJ is going to be sad. He'll decide to get revenge, though. So he'll join a ninja school to learn how to fight. He'll say to the ninja teacher, "I want to learn to kill someone with a knife and a sword." But the teacher's going to say, "Look, your conceptions of the means of ninja fighting are old and wrong. Contemporary American ninjas use guns." He'll then begin to teach AJ how to fight and how to use guns like a ninja. He'll yell, "Don't stand rigidly. Make your body soft and flexible." Every day, AJ will practice. Finally, he'll be ready. He'll be strong and dangerous. The teacher's gonna say, "Counterpose your old self to your new self. Then you were weak, now you are strong." AJ will say, "Yes, master, I am strong. I am now ready to destroy my evil English class." Now, as AJ walks out the door, the master will say, "Keep to your ninja methods and destroy them all." Okay, that is all for our POV, point of view stories. Please pause now, go back, listen to version number 1, right? This is the past tense, 20 years ago. Listen to it and then stop and try to tell all of the story yourself using the past tense. Then listen to the second one. The second one is a mix. It usually is a mix, you've probably noticed, right? There'll be a little bit of present perfect, actually, you know, have gone, have been. And then there'll also be a good amount of the past. So you want to begin that one with since last month, right? AJ has gone to his English class since last month. The student has complained, etc. Listen to it and then try to tell it yourself. And finally, listen to the third version about the future. Listen to it, stop, try to tell it yourself in the future. Okay, listen for those ol sounds, right? AJ-ol, AJ-ol. We don't say usually AJ will. That's written English, but in speaking, we just add that ol sound. AJ'll go to the store. AJ'll go to the store. AJ will go to the store. We just AJ'll, ol. So listen for that. Also listen for gonna. Gonna means going to. And that's also for the future, spoken future. All right, good luck. Listen to these many times, if necessary, until they feel natural and easy. And then move on, listen to the article, and listen to the article many times. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome to the vocabulary lesson for the role of media 1 topic. Here we go. This is an article by Noam Chomsky, and the first word in this article is contemporary, the role of the media in contemporary politics. Contemporary means modern or current, happening now in today's time, in our current time. So it means modern or current or in generally now. So contemporary politics means politics now in the year 2007, 2005, 2008, about this time period. Okay, and then next he has a phrase. He says, we need to ask, in what sense of democracy do we want this to be a democratic society? In what sense means in what manner. And what he's asking is in what way do we want this to be a democracy? How do we want it to be a democracy? So in what sense means kind of in what definition, in what way, in what manner. All right, and then the next sentence, he says, let me begin by counterposing two different ideas. To counterpose is to compare. It means you compare one thing to another. You put them against each other. So he's saying he has two ideas about democracy, or there are two basic ideas about democracy. He's going to compare them. He's going to put them against each other. He's going to counterpose them. So to counterpose is to compare two things, put them against each other. Counterpose, that's counterpose. So he's going to counterpose two different conceptions of democracy. He's counterposing two conceptions of democracy. All right, conception means idea, but it's not, it means an idea about something. For example, a conception of democracy. It means your ideas about democracy or your theory about democracy. So you don't say usually, I have a conception, right? We usually say, I have an idea, I have an idea. We do say that in English all the time, but we don't say, I have a conception. Not usually. We usually say, I have a conception about democracy. I have a conception about this problem. Okay, so that means you're thinking in a certain way about this topic. So conception is an idea or a theory, usually about some topic. All right, and then he says, one conception of democracy has it that a democracy is where the people participate. Has it. Seems simple. Has and it, very simple. Two words. But in this case, has it means says or believes. So one conception of democracy, one idea has it that a democracy means everybody participates. Has it, in other words, means says. Has it equals says. One idea says that a democracy is blah, blah, blah. One idea has it. One idea says. So it basically means says. But usually we use has it when a non-human is saying something, if that makes sense. So you don't usually say, I have it that he is good, right? You don't say, I say he is good. But we might say, the public has it that he is good. So it's kind of not used for individuals. It's used for abstract things that are communicating an idea. So has it means to communicate, or sometimes it means to believe. So to communicate or to believe something. And usually not used as a single person, but some abstract group or idea. Believing is the subject for has it. Okay. Affairs. He said one idea has it that democracy means people manage their own affairs. Affairs in this case means lives. It means their normal life activities. Life activities are affairs. Say, I need to manage my affairs means I need to manage my life activities. Now, affairs does have other meanings, but in this case, it means life activities or life issues. All right, and we see the word means in that same paragraph. Manage the means of information. In this case, means methods or ways. The means of information means the way of communicating information, or the method for communicating information, the means of information. This is not a normal way to say that, in fact. It's a little bit formal. Noam Chomsky is an academic. He's a professor. In fact, any of you who have studied language, you may know Noam Chomsky. He's probably the most famous linguist in the world. Number one, he's a professor at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Anyway, I'll talk more about that in the commentary. Okay, next, he uses the phrase look up to look up a word in the dictionary. To look up means to look for and find, or to search for and find. So if you look up a word in the dictionary, it means you search for it and try to find it. That's pretty simple. We see the word alternative, an alternative idea of democracy. So alternative means another choice, right? Another kind, or another choice, or another possible choice. An alternative idea means a different idea, right? Another idea, a different idea, another kind of idea. All right, and this idea says the public, people, must be barred from managing their own affairs. Barred from means prevented. It's one of those two-word verbs. To be barred from means to be denied or prevented or stopped from doing something. For example, you might say, I am barred from that restaurant. It means I cannot go into the restaurant. Maybe I did something bad in the restaurant. Maybe I stole something from them, or I yelled and whatever. But they say, okay, you can never come to this restaurant again. You are barred from this restaurant. Right? To be barred from means you're prevented from coming in. He's saying that one idea of democracy is that normal people must be barred from managing their own affairs. So they must be prevented from managing their own lives, important things. All right. We see the adverbs narrowly and rigidly controlled. Controlled's an verb, sorry. Narrowly and rigidly controlled. So narrowly controlled means in a careful way, in a very tight way. Right? It doesn't mean you don't have many choices. If you are narrowly controlled, it means you only get a few choices. The person who's controlling you gives you only a few choices. You are narrowly controlled. Rigidly controlled means no flexibility, very tough, right? Very, very tough. There are tough rules, and you cannot break them. So that's rigidly. To do something rigidly means you do it in only one way. You can't change. You can't adapt. Rigidly. All right, and he said that may sound like an odd idea of democracy. We've had this before, but odd means strange here. It means strange. That may sound like a strange idea of democracy. That may sound like an odd idea of democracy. So odd here means strange. He says, but it's the prevailing idea. It's the prevailing conception. It's the prevailing idea. Prevailing means the most common, or the majority idea. So he's saying this is actually the prevailing idea. It's the most common idea about democracy. The most common idea, the prevailing idea in most countries is that common people, normal people, are not smart enough to manage important things, right? Educated people, rich people, basically, have to control them somehow. That's the prevailing idea of democracy. It's the most common idea. It's the majority idea. It's the most powerful idea. Okay, the prevailing idea. And then he says, it is the prevailing idea not just in operation, but also in theory. In operation means in use, how something is actually done, how it is done in reality, right? Not in idea. In theory means in idea, right? It means talking about it, thinking about it, in theory. So this is the idea in theory. It means this is the idea people talk about, think about. But it's also the main opinion in operation, meaning in actual use, in real life governments, every day, in operation. So in operation is how something is actually done, and in theory is how you think about it. All right, and let's see. He says, I'm going to keep to the modern period to talk about this issue. To keep to something, it just means to stay with it. It means he's not going to talk about the far past. He's going to keep to the modern period. He's going to stay with the modern period only. So keep to means stay with. All right, and then we see a word notion. He's going to talk about different notions of democracy. Notion means idea. Idea. And it's very close to the word idea. So you can say, I have a notion. It sounds a little strange. It's usually means a small idea or an opinion idea. And it's maybe a little more formal. But you can say that. It's used very similar to the word idea. So notion, a notion of democracy means some idea or opinion of democracy. So notion is idea, basically. And then he uses the word, our final word, disinformation. He's going to talk about in his future articles the problem of media and disinformation. Well, you know what information is, right? Information means, well, information, how do I talk? It means, knowledge about things that happened. So stories in the news, this is information. There's a war in Iraq, that's information. All right, what is disinformation? Dis makes it negative. Negative information. What does that mean? Well, disinformation, in fact, means propaganda or lies, official lies, basically, or wrong information. But it's not wrong information by accident, right? Someone writes an article and they make a mistake, for example. They make a mistake, but it's an accident. They think it's correct. It's an accident. That is not disinformation. That's not disinformation. It's just a mistake. It's wrong. It's a mistake. But if the government creates a story and they know it's a lie, they know it's wrong, but they tell the reporters, they tell the news shows it to everybody, that's disinformation, right? The people who created it know it's wrong. They know it's a lie, but they want to change people's minds. They want to control them somehow. So it's called disinformation. Disinformation, very similar to the word propaganda. Propaganda and disinformation are very, very similar. All right, that is all for the vocabulary lesson. Listen a few times. It's a short article, but there are some difficult words in there. So listen as many times as you need to. All righty, bye-bye.